Whether directly involved or simply supporting businesses' growth projects, Rochester Area Economic Development celebrated a number of successes in 2015.
Well, this year actually was a good year for RAEDI and our role in helping to diversify the local economy.
RAEDI's primary goal of attracting, growing, and retaining base business showed no signs of slowing down last year.
We were fortunate enough to facilitate over $100 million worth of projects this year. That's private investment dollars in local area projects. Have created 225 new jobs.
And RAEDI did so efficiently. RAEDI's $1.3 million operating budget equates to $77 of private investment for every dollar spent on operations. This results in a cost of approximately $5,800 per job created. That's almost half the federal standard cost of $10,000 per job. The 504 Loan Program and the Economic Development Fund provide additional options for RAEDI to help finance the growth of area businesses.
We had about $27 million worth of small business loans that were made to 17 area businesses during the year. These are fixed asset loans that help them grow their businesses.
The Mayo Clinic Business Accelerator opened its doors to entrepreneurs and startups 3 years ago and underwent an expansion at the end of 2014.
It's fair to say that there's more activity, more entrepreneurial activity and energy now than it was a few years ago. And I think the Accelerator has played a good part of it.
In the last year, the Accelerator added 12 new tenants, graduated 1 tenant, held 20 events. To date, Accelerator firms have created 49 new jobs and raised $7.6 million in early stage capital. And due to the expansion, the Accelerator can offer even more opportunities to community groups such as BioAM, Techstars++, Black Data Processing Association, Coder Dojo, TEDx, Technovation, and Youth Startup Weekend, among others.
Now that we have more space, we're trying to let everyone use the space in a way that will benefit all of us.
The company GoRoute, responsible for the on-field wearable technology that enhances football practice for all levels of play, is a recent Accelerator graduate.
We started out with just owning a single chair in the space. We had the co-working space for $100, and we were in the Accelerator for about 14 months.
In addition to the reasonable price and collaboration space, Rowley says there was so much more to his company's first home.
But we also had an infrastructure here that really allowed us to kind of get our foothold on who we should talk to for legal and what we should do for financial advice and who we should talk to about getting funding. All of those resources were available to us here.
GoRoute also received funding support from RAEDI's Economic Development Fund. GoRoute is headquartered in downtown Rochester and has increased their staff to 18 employees.
The API, or Advanced Product Incubator, is a GMP facility. And what that means is that this is a facility that has the capability to manufacture drugs that would go into people, so clinical grade material that we could actually use to treat patients.
By focusing on regenerative medicine, the plan is to create solutions that are low cost and accessible to all patients.
So the vision with Advanced Product Incubator was, well, we know a lot about stem cells, we know how they work. Why not figure out how to bottle that up and put it on the shelf like aspirin?
And once the initial idea was agreed upon, it didn't take long to build out the GNP space.
Through collaboration with RAEDI, the city, and actually individuals within the city, the groups that do construction and architecture, we were actually able to design and build it out over the course of nearly 12 months.
Dr. Bafar says he anticipates manufacturing a GMP product by second quarter of this year. 6 years ago, RAEDI invested in Regen Theranostics, a company that makes induced pluripotent stem cells for the research community.
A pluripotent stem cell is what an embryonic stem cell is. And so when embryos are formed and develop, they develop brain tissue and heart tissue and all the different tissues of our body. We use a technology that makes a similar type stem cell, but it does it from adult skin tissue.
The demand for Regen's service resulted in quick growth. The company realized it needed a larger space, and once again, RAEDI stepped up with an investment.
We were at the Bio Business Center for 5 years, and then we moved here this past July.
Nelson takes the company's expansion in stride and looks forward to the future.
And it's always about growing and doing the next thing, because there isn't an option other than to grow.
Rochester has a long history of angels supporting startup ventures, both in the tech and medtech industries.
Last year I was asked to join the Journey to Growth Entrepreneur Committee, co-chairing with Jim Rogers. And one of the first things we started talking about was how could we increase that activity and how could we get information out to angel investors that are interested in learning about what startup opportunities are available for them to consider.
After much collaboration between RAEDI and the Journey to Growth Partnership, a new angel fund was created called the Southeast Minnesota Capital Fund.
You know, we're working with Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation and Owatonna, the group in Red Wing Ignite has been part of the committee, and including all opportunities both from an angel investment standpoint and a startup standpoint, you know, within the Southeast Minnesota area.
The group hopes to bring in initial angel investors and kick off the first meeting in early 2016. Gillette-Pepsi Cola Companies has been a mainstay in Rochester since the 1940s when Norm Gillette acquired the Pepsi Cola franchise, and their current building has been here nearly as long.
This building has been in place, I would say, from the 1950s era. It's been expanded several times over the years. About 10 years ago, we added on about a 20,000 square foot addition to our warehouse, trying to meet the increasing demands of needing additional space for new products.
Finally outgrowing their space, the company was faced with relocating their facility.
As we went about looking for the next site, we started in Rochester. We definitely wanted to keep the business in Rochester.
RAEDI supported the company's tax increment financing request, which the City of Rochester approved, ensuring the company would stay in Rochester.
We were fortunate that the city was very supportive of the business, and they wanted to keep the business in the city as well.
All 127 employees are planning to move into the new facility by the end of summer. After 2 years of careful planning, research, and development, Stewartville-based Minnesota Medical Technologies saw a great need and lack of advancement in the field of fecal incontinence.
It is one of the single biggest reasons why people are placed in long-term care in the first place.
Realizing the potential in a market so underserved, the company broke ground on a new facility in 2015.
The initial facility, the first building, is quite small, actually. It's about 6,500 square feet.
The building will house a pilot production line that can manufacture low-volume device production of approximately 10 million devices annually.
We would look at putting up additional buildings next to it, and the follow-on production lines would be significantly bigger.
The facility is slated for completion by the end of March, and the company hopes to house about a dozen employees in the first year. 2015 also kicked off Journey to Growth, a 5-year economic development plan created to diversify and strengthen the regional economy.
I think when you look at the size of the endeavor and the organization that it requires to launch something like this, you know, the fact we have 10 committees, 20 co-chairs, you're going to populate those committees with working volunteers and doing the work. We've come a long way.
In the past year, nearly 150 volunteers from across the region have begun collaborating and working together.
I got involved with the Economic Journey Committee, and I know that one of the things that we're working on currently is talking to different target industry sectors and discussing maybe some of the opportunities and challenges that we're seeing, and if there's any way that Journey to Growth can assist these industries.
The buzz is out. Everyone's so happy about the Journey to Growth, and it makes me feel good because I'm a part of that.
To me, transportation's a cornerstone of economic development. Without planes and trains and automobiles, you can't move people in and out of the region and product in and out of the region. And I think, again, this is just an incredibly important part of the growth that's coming and the growth that's already here.
Right now, I am part of the Economic Committee, Workforce Development Committee, and the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I'm really excited to be part of all three.
To date, collaboration and early stage planning is taking place on nearly 30 Journey to Growth projects and endorsed initiatives throughout the region. Some of those projects and endorsements include the Regional Community Video Project in partnership with Southeast Minnesota Together, RST's Fly Local campaign, Food and Dairy Industry Roundtable, the We Are More Diversity and Inclusion Traveling Exhibit, Southeast Minnesota Capital Fund, CTEC, Youth Startup Weekend, the regional bus tour in partnership with CETA.
I am starting to see some movement already, even from some of the things that I've heard are coming up. Like we're having this bus tour with site selectors, and they're bringing people around to actually come to our city instead of just talking about our city somewhere else and hoping they come here.
As Journey to Growth enters its second year, it's more important than ever to continue growing our Journey to Growth team.
Journey to Growth is important because it provides an opportunity to network with others, to learn a lot more and broaden your expertise about southeastern Minnesota. It allows you to partner with other cities or towns or counties.
This is really a regional effort, and I think that communities, should look at themselves as being part of that region. And with that, I think they, should be involved.
You need to get to Journey to Growth. You need to contribute, not just financially, but with what information that you have about your community and how you can connect the dots in the region.
For all of us to succeed, we need to collaborate and we need to do it together.
It's something we all need to take part in, because it's like they used to say, many hands will lighten the load. And if we all work together on this, I think it's going to benefit each one of us in one way or another.
One journey, one region, one voice. That's our future. That's our Journey to Growth.